rolled 3 injuries and I rolled just 1. But it's always hilarious when they pull it off.
Oh yeah, when they somehow pull off a win.
Yeah. So there's a coin toss.
The Fire and Dice won it, and they chose to receive.
Oh, and this is the team... Oh no, this team also picked a Hail Mary pass on the bomber.
Yep, that's this team.
That's really cool.
However, this team also,
it's not the
from
same.
what I
It's not
believe,
the same team.
this team chose... Oh no, yeah, it's a different... that's right, this team chose to use the full team value and not get any bribes at any stage.
Which I think is probably not the right choice, because you're really reliant on those dirty players, or not dirty, but illegal players.
Also, might you personally dislike playing against stunty teams? I don't mind it. I don't mind playing stunty teams. Playing against them, I mean. Doesn't really bother me much.
And that's an interesting choice to put 3 pieces next to each other when you know that you're going up against a ball and chain.
Yeah, because that ball and chain's just going to be able to move through at least one of them.
And he does have Mighty Blow on this piece, and AB7 is just going to be removed.
However, his pieces, even if it is a 3-die, those Norse do have block, while that chain does not.
Which is, by the way, if people are playing against Goblins and have hard times dealing with that ball and chain, I can just say, throw those red dice against him.
See, look at that, look at that.
With block.
Yeah, look at that. That block helped. Didn't that time, unfortunately, but that first hit, and there's no injury.
No.
And now that ball and chain's out in the middle of nowhere. And as you said, he could just red die against that Fnatic.
And that's the way I dealt with the it took me 3 attempts to do it, and twice I got knocked over myself because of the skull. Yeah. But once you knock him over, he's just goes straight to KO.
Yep.
That's the way the ball and chain works. So
and if they don't have any bribes, it's done.
Yeah.
So we've got 1 removal already on the Norse. Oh, failed chainsaw. So the blitz is rendered useless.
Always bad. Yeah. That's why many coaches who play Goblins like to foul with the chainsaw and not blitz with it, and instead use the trolls to blitz.
Yeah.
Especially if you are lucky enough to get a block.
Yeah. I mean, he chose not to have block on both his trolls. He chose to have pro instead.
No. Which, I mean, it's maybe not the safest choice, but it helps with every single 1-turn attempt, because if you want to throw, you have so many dice rolls to go off.
Yep.
And if one of those fails, it's just override. So
yep.
This might be telling that he's going to try for 1-turn touchdowns here.
Possibly. I mean, personally, I would have gone with the block, but oof, and injury on one of the Looney is injured. That chainsaw.
Yeah.
So
and that's why you.
Yeah. So yeah, that chainsaw, useless blitz into not just bouncing off of somehow a naked Norseman.
Yep.
And then being taken straight out. So
because the chainsaw works in both ways, right? So
yep.
It's like armor 4.
And Saimar says they don't feel like real games. I mean, you can say things like that, but if someone knows how to play those stunty teams.
Yeah.
What is that sound?
That may be my girlfriend. I need to take my baby girl.
1 sec. No, it's not you. I just muted.
Okay.
I just deafened and muted, and there's like drums coming from the game. So
I see.
Let's see if I can turn it off. Oh, Bubba.
Yeah. She just woke up, so she's a bit. So I would have loved to see the ball and chain being used a bit more aggressively. I believe that you can actually afford to go for it once if you have 2 targets next to you, because
well, it's a 2 in 3 chance of hitting it.
And usually your opponent tries to make it so that you can only hit one. So having those 2 targets is really juicy for a Mighty Blow.
Dauntless hit that troll, and that troll without block goes down.
Yep.
So I love Dauntless as a skill.
It's superb, yeah.
Just because, well, here we go again. I thought I was going to be able to go this entire stream without talking about them. Again, that line of lineman team I have. Since I can't, like, I want to get things like Mighty Blow on them, but I can't get them because you'd need to roll doubles because they can only choose from the general lot. So I tend to give as a third skill, or no, sorry, a second skill. I give them either Dauntless or Tackle.
Yeah, and I think that's a wise choice because Dauntless really helps you out against most teams.
Yeah, it is. It's well, since they're all strength 3, that Dauntless has been a lifesaver.
Yeah. I mean, the only team you could skip Dauntless against is Dark Elves,
and
Union
the
Elves.
pro succeeded, and then the reroll failed anyway. 161. Ouch.
Indeed. But he's using his ball and chain as a cage corner here, which is interesting.
I mean, it's got that high strength, strength 7.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And he's making all those dodge rolls right, and he doesn't fail. That's really risky. I mean, they do have Stunty, but it's still an agility 3 dodge, right?
But anyway, yeah, Simar says they don't feel like real games when you versus Stunty team, and I mean, I most of the time, yeah. But if in this league we do have, in this tournament we have some very accomplished Stunty players. Sorry, Stunty coaches. I keep saying players when this is a game that has players. So, oh, and there you go. Oh, sorry, I thought the Goblin went for a hit against someone and got blocked down. So are they going to be able to get that ball back? Oh, here comes that chain.
Yeah.
That chain has not been able to get removals, really. I don't think it has yet. It was the troll that got rid of one of the linemen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still doing its job. It's knocking down the...
Yeah. But really putting Mighty Blow on that ball chain is still, I think, the right choice to make, because if you are able to pull that off, if you are able to push guys who are facing down on the field, you just get those armor rolls for free with the modifier, right? So.
Yeah. He's just crisscrossing up the field. Left, right, left, right.
And I have to say, he's really reckless with those dodges, because I think in the end he throws so many rolls, he should fail some of those dodges, but he just isn't failing dodges, right?
They have dodge and stun. I mean, the dodge does help, but sure. Yeah, they since it is a 3+.
Yeah, it's only 3+, and I mean, with the reroll, it's mighty fine, but you're bound to roll a 1 and a 2, or 2 2s even. That's enough.
I don't know. It is risky playing, but at the same time, it's working out for him. So
yeah, absolutely. And the Norse player cannot get any removals here. Which is
he's gotten 1 so far in total.
Yeah, 1, but that's only...
And he's got so many extra... The Street has so many extra players that...
Plus it's on a player that would have been removed either way next drive, so... Yeah. Because of no bribes. Yeah, but that ball and chain really doesn't roll the removals with Mighty Blow that I would have expected him to roll.
None of them at all so far.
Yep.
And Street would, if anything, would want to stall, because he'd want to keep that player on the field for as long as possible.
Yeah.
And he is getting removals. Crunch, there we go, injury by the troll. Just as I say it.
Which also opens up the possibility to cage here again.
Yep.
Because if he didn't get the removal, he would have had to go for it once. To go to the right side with the cage.
No, he doesn't need to.
Nope.
So after this, I'm definitely gonna have a look at the leaderboard and see how high up on it because I think there's 4 Norse teams. I want to see how high up on it a Norse team is.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. Because this team is not.
Oh, there we go. Goblin injury with the werewolf.
Yep, but still not enough to remove the full team.
Yeah, so that means he doesn't have to field the bombardier. Because that, if anything, that's what you'd want to do. You'd want to force the touchdown, but also remove enough players so the bombardier is forced onto the field.
Absolutely. And I do think he should really try for those red dice on the bomb chain. I don't know why he doesn't do that. I mean, he's got block on every piece, so
and he's gonna lose players regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are just very, very adverse to making red die blocks, even if they do have that. Oh, and there we go. There's an injury on the berserker, one of the key pieces. He used the apothecary and it worked. It's a substitute. But now he does not have that apothecary safety net. The gloves are off, and every hit is real from here.
And there is another cage. And he keeps making those dodges.
I mean, yeah, if I was, and here we go, another going for it as well. As the player going up against this team, I would be very frustrated, and that might be what happens to Madness. That tilt starts to come in as you go, why isn't he failing those dodges, and you get mad about it.
Yeah.
Like, why does he keep succeeding on these blocks against dudes with block? Why does he keep getting removals while I can't get any? And then you start to really snowball into making poor decisions.
Frustration.
And if you can't be in control of your emotions in it, it really screws you over.
Yeah. And let's be honest, it will get to you. At some point, it just will get to you.
No matter who you are.
No.
Even if you're playing a team, I've seen it, even when people are playing teams that are just throwaway teams they don't care about, as they start to lose, that I don't know if it's pride or they start getting frustrated. Alright, we've got a stun against Jon Snow.
And that was one useless bomb chain.
Oof, go for it, fail. Ay, ay, ay. And that's all of the rerolls for the Norse team gone.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a bit ahead of you now.
I remember what you see on if you got the stream open or something. What you see on stream is a little bit behind what I'm actually at.
Yeah, right now there's only the troll left on the Goblin team.
Ah.
That just got to turn 7.
Yeah, I'm up to turn 7 as well. We're equal.
All right.
So, blitz hit with the runner, block, knocked him down, and got into his tap. But that's a... Whoa. Okay.
Well, did he just skip the rest of his turn?
Yes, he did. And now his thrower is injured. His only thrower.
And again, he should have wrecked.
Oh no, he's got 2 throwers. He's got 2 throwers. Which I don't get, but we already talked about that at length.
Yeah. Why did he skip his turn here?
He thought he had a really
understand.
good. I think he thought he had a really good defensive. He could have stopped this touchdown. I mean,
Yeah,
does it? It
absolutely.
might not be a touchdown, but he could have. Whatever.
Another removal.
Oh,
Yeah, so Madness really gets screwed over here with those
Berserker
removals.
down, and that's his tackle piece. His only tackle piece is now gone.
And he only has 2 bench, so he's already at least 1 man down, at least.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's the touchdown, which he very obviously could have stopped if he had the rest of his turn and placed things a bit better.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that skip. I don't know.
Maybe it was a
So
misclick
easy.
call, but what I need to ask is, I don't know anything about Sir. Are they a novice player of some kind, or like are
I
they
do not know.
new for mad, or did they just get bad plays? Unfortunately, because it's not just luck. They've made multiple plays which are
Debatable.
debatable.
Yeah. And again, if I was to try to give some constructive criticism, it would be go for those red die on the ball and chain. Because having block really is quite likely to knock him down, and once he's knocked down, he's out.
Yep. Especially if you do have that 2-player bench, getting rid of those, that because they do get knocked out immediately. Getting that hit is very important.
Yeah. And I mean, normally ball and chains are not that super dangerous because they don't have mighty blow, but this one has mighty blow, so it was bound to injure guys.
Especially with that armor value.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think that ball and chain, did it actually get any removals?
No, this one didn't, but it should have gotten some on average, right?
And anyway, if he did remove it, it would have it would have
been a serious blow to the goblin field.
and made it easier to position around,
Yeah,
because he couldn't have used it as the corner piece for the cage.
absolutely. And there's the power of dodge.
Yep.
Oh, and yeah, Sir Madness gets unfortunate with those blocks. I guess he would have liked to knock down that troll and maybe foul it out afterwards.
I think that was definitely what he wanted to do.
And now he's going for the foul on the lineman goblin, which is not that good. And he fails it.
Yeah, I think this is where the tilt creeps in. Because he should have made the block against the troll first, because he has blocked, the troll does not. Even if it's a 1-die, it's still better chance of...
Plus, I think that last block should have been done with the Ulf Variner.
Yeah.
Because he would have had a 2-die, and he could have positioned in a way that he would have had two 2-dies on that troll.
These are the decisions people make.
Yeah.
And then, like, if it had ended up... so many things. So many things.
Yep.
Actually,
And
I can actually see what would have occurred there while looking at the dice. So, instead of it being a 1-die, so the Dauntless fails, but that doesn't matter. So that would have been a skull. So it would have been skull push into another 2-die, which would have been push and a 4. So a 4 would be Defender Stumbles. He could have taken down... No, 5 is Defender Stumbles, 4 is... So it would have been push. So it wouldn't have mattered in the end, but...
Yeah. But I think having the chance twice would have been really good. Especially since he could have fouled one of those trolls out, right? If he saved up his foul, not on the goblin, but on the troll.
Got the touch back, which is pretty decent.
Absolutely. After 3 failed catch attempts.
Yeah. But this
was
shows
hilarious
why
to
he
watch.
should have a piece with catch if he's going to have 2 throwers and have that be his... Sorry, 2 are they runners? 2 throwers and have that be a centerpiece. Oh, and double
he's
skull.
And he's down 2 players, right?
Yeah.
Whereas oh yeah, that's unfortunate. So some debatable choices, and
Because he could have used the
some-
werewolf there.
Yeah,
Gotten 2
some
dice.
unfortunate rolls as well. Really screwed with some ends here, I have to say. So it's a mixture of both.
Okay, the Bombardier failed to take out the
But what a nice throw.
Ah, perfect. I mean, both teams are having problems there, so he went for a hit against that lineman,
He got knocked
and
down.
it failed because the reroll, the pro failed. You don't pick catch in this format ever. And why is that, Saimar? So Saimar says you don't pick catch in this format ever unless you want to be silly.
Well, I think I do know what Simon means here, and I would agree, but picking 2 throwers kind of makes that choice like mandatory.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you're going to have those 2 throwers.
Yeah, because they're just glorified linemen if you don't use throw, right?
Yeah, if you're not going to use the thrower.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anything to catch it on the other end, you're just bleeding rerolls on a team that only has, 2 rerolls. So you can have a lower amount of rerolls if you're on a team that already has those built-ins. But if you don't have those built-ins, then you're in problem. That's a problem with the roster, not skill choices.
And looking at the way that Sir Madness positions himself, he might have forgotten about the Bombardier and the ability to throw from there, because that's a juicy zone full of Norse players there. That's like 6 guys in the immediate vicinity.
Oh, yeah, he goes for the bomb throw, but it doesn't go so well. Just misses.
I'm not yet at the bomb throw. There it goes. Okay, it scatters too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, just one scatter less into that direction, and would have been able to hit like 2 or 3 of those guys.
You don't waste a skill on such a narrow skill as catch when total skills are so limited.
Yeah, that's what I thought Simon was going at, and I have to agree, but again, if you coming from the perspective.
Yeah, you also need to look at all the other skills that he's chosen.
Yeah.
He's chosen to have things like strip ball. He seems to have made a team that is a ball-carrying, ball-throwing team that has bash skills sprinkled in throughout it, and it's got its fingers in too many pies. It's not good at one particular thing that it needs to do, and because of that, it suffers.
Norse are a naturally running team, not a passing team, so I think it would have been better to pick one guy with sure hands, not even a thrower maybe, and then just run the ball and not care about the possibility to throw because it's so unreliable.
I do believe I may know why he did what he did. And the possibility is what the throwers are only cost 20,000 or 10,000. I think it's 20,000 more than an average lineman.
Yeah, but it's 20,000, so that's 40,000 in total, right?
And that's what I'm saying. Maybe at the end he built his entire team and had linemen there instead, and realized he had 40,000 more, and then when I could spend that 40,000 on upgrading like just 20,000 each on linemen.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't think he had skill caps, so that doesn't make sense either. He could have spent that 40,000 on another skill, like sure hands on a lineman if necessary.
Yeah, and Simon made a good point here. Why is that Norse pick runner with either dodge or sure hands? And I absolutely agree. You're right. That would have been a more sensible choice here. But seeing as he did not make that choice, the catch wouldn't have been awful. Wow, and that's one unfortunate double skulls here.
I mean, yeah, we said before, we did look at this team before, and we said that it was, in our opinion, poorly made. I can't remember who said something. That said, that's right. It was CJ Blackburn that said that argued that it's not a bad built team. It's just okay. It's not completely bad. It's just a little bad of a team. Like it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with almost any of the choices made on this team.
Okay, so that chain push was actually quite clever. That gives him a straight 2 die on the ball carrier with pro. Right, that's super.
and it works out for him. He does fail the going for it with his goblin to get close to it though.
And he can just zip through the tackle zones and pick up the ball here.
He's done so. He's got that ball, and he's also got a sort of cage already. Because none of those Norse have dodge in any way.
Yeah.
Fails the going for it. And he doesn't have any rerolls, so that's over. He's already used up all of those rerolls at the start. See, in my... Oh, but you need to have a bench with Norse. It's like...
Yeah.
Looking at it, I really would have gone for an extra reroll, though. I would have cut down in other areas to have a reroll. I would have had sure hands. I mean, I would not have made this team this way at all. So... I really wish that it would have done well and succeeded in some way and shown maybe a different side of Norse, like a different way to play Norse, but unfortunately it didn't seem to turn out that way.
What I think is hilarious is the Bombardier, who's just tossing bombs left and right and doesn't hit.
Tackle on alignment is good though. Guard is nice. Wrestle on Ulf is nice. Yes, he's made some good decisions. But with the other decisions, it means he hasn't... He's only reached out in little ways in... Only reason for Norse to have thrower is to pick leader. And he did not choose to have leader.
Yeah.
Both of his throwers are unleveled.
Yeah. And leader would have actually been not a bad choice here.
Especially since he's only got 2 rerolls.
Yeah. But then again, yeah. I mean, the point that Simon makes is very valid. You would have probably built the team in a different way.
Yeah.
But then that, I mean, it comes down to personal preference, right? But I think it would be.
I wouldn't mind interviewing Sir Madness to ask why. Why did you make the decisions you made? So that way we can understand the thought process behind it all.
And please don't think that we just want to wail on you or something.
No, not at all. I'm not. I always seek to understand because I know. Again, I create very weird teams. I create very unorthodox teams because I want to prove that unorthodox teams have merit. Because so many people, the Blood Bowl. I mean, it's not like League of Legends or anything, but Blood Bowl can have some poison in the community where people will just outright bag you out for bad teams that you make, right? And I don't like that, because experimenting is the way that you find new team compositions.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love to experiment, and I like people that experiment, but I need to know why certain decisions were made. Like, what was the gimmick, or what was the thought behind making that team in that unorthodox way? Or was it actually because the person did not understand how certain things work? So that way you can educate whoever it is whether that decision is good or not if they don't know. Or you can find out that whatever gimmick or thought process they were going through is not one that works.
In that regard, though, the Fumble community might be less toxic than the Blood Bowl 2 community, actually. You will see many more weird setups and ways to play.
I just mean Twitch in general. I have never had anyone within Twitch Blood Bowl here or anything like that has been a problem in any way. It's random viewers on Twitch coming onto my channel and being like, you're literally just typing your team is shit because X and then leaving. That's like, well, you could at least let me explain myself, but...
True.
Or not even on Twitch, actually, just inside Blood Bowl. Like, I'll be in a match against someone, and they always wait until they are winning before they'll say anything.
Wow, that was a strange decision to make that go for it there.
Especially without those rerolls.
Yeah. I mean... And there goes the throw. Doesn't land, though.
I mean, he can still get up and do whatever.
Yeah. And he will. I mean, that's an easy steal, right?
Yep. Very easy steal. I see... Oh, no, he didn't get up and go for the ball, but he went for a ball with another...
No, but he marks his players, so he's unable to easily...
And that Goblin got the ball. Like, just... I want to also ask if it's about tilting. Did the opponent, did Sir Madness go through a stage where he started to make plays based on getting mad at Street and wanting to just do damage, or just get the game over with as quick as possible? Because I know sometimes if you're losing, and you're on a losing streak in a tournament or something like that, you don't actually think your moves through because you're just trying to get the turnover as quick as possible without it looking like you're just conceding. I've been guilty of that, actually. In my entire Blood Bowl career, I think I've only conceded twice ever.
Oh,
Because
wow, that's good.
I have a policy on my channel, which is sort of a we never surrender. Never
I do
surrender,
like
never
that
give
a lot.
up.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. I have the same policy. In all my career, that's like 25 years of Blood Bowl, I conceded once.
Wow.
And